UTS Consulting Club presents the Mini Case Series, a mini crash course to equip CaseComp newbies with the basics to case competitions. This is the second episode of the 5-episode mini case series. You can find our other episodes on our mini case series webpage on the UTS Consulting Club website. Now that we've understood the case, let's get started with defining the problem. Defining the problem is an important step in cracking the case. The steps to guide you in defining the problem include having a problem statement and creating an issue tree. In order to come up with an effective and tailored solution, you must first understand what it is exactly you are trying to solve and what are the underlying factors causing the issue. There is no point coming up with a solution that doesn't solve the core issues and address the overarching problem being faced. So let's take a look at creating a problem statement. A problem statement is a guiding summary of what it is you are trying to solve. A problem statement is derived from the case brief and deliverables and can generally vary in nature. Different case competition briefs vary in the amount of detail and specifics they want you to meet, so there is room for flexibility and there is no one way of doing this. However, if the case is quite broad in what it is asking you to solve, in other words, a broadly defined case deliverable, generate your own problem statement that starts with "how can." This is an active opening beginning of a statement that calls for action. When creating your problem statement, try to make it SMART, meaning your problem statement is specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound. Here we have provided 2 examples of problem statements. The broader statement on the left is a statement that was created from a wide scope deliverable. How can New South Wales charities better collaborate and share resources to assist in the recovery process for bushfire-affected communities over the next 3 years? Depending on the case and the amount of detail they give you, try to make your problem statement SMART, such as, how can Pacific Partners expand nationally and increase operating margins to 3.5% over the next 5 years? Step 2. Create an issue tree. Once you've generated your problem statement, your next step is breaking down the problem into problem drivers. Problem drivers are the root causes of the problem, and this can be done through creating an issue tree. So what is an issue tree? An issue tree is a logical diagram that breaks down the problem into smaller, more manageable issues. Issue trees should be MECE. MECE meaning mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive, and is a way of organizing information, often in the context of issue trees. If the issue tree is done in a MECE way, all issues and sub-issues are mutually exclusive, meaning no sub-issues are overlapping. For it to be collectively exhaustive, all possible solutions are identified. Looking at the diagram, we can see the issue tree begins with your problem statement. The next layer is where you break down the problem statement into core underlying drivers, or issues. The main issues can then be further broken down into sub-issues. When creating your issue tree, all issues and sub-issues should be on the same level of category. Take Australia for example. In this example, how has Australia been broken down? We have Tasmania, New South Wales, Western Australia, Darwin, Northern Territory, South Australia, Victoria, ACT, and Ultimo. First of all, is this mutually exclusive? Looking at Darwin and Northern Territory, no it isn't, as Darwin, the city of Northern Territory, is a subset of Northern Territory and hence overlap. Collectively exhaustive? No. Queensland is not included as an element, but it should be as it's considered a state. Drawing attention to Ultimo and New South Wales, they are on 2 different levels. One is a suburb and one is a state. Therefore, they are not parallel parts. So how would this issue tree look if it was MECE and had parallel parts? We would first break down Australia into 2 mutually exclusive parts, states and territories. It is collectively exhaustive as it includes all states and territories under both branches. In regards to parallel parts, the elements broken under each category for state and territory are all on the same level. States are all grouped as states and territories are grouped together. To apply this in a real-life business context, here is a very basic example of an issue tree. First, start off with the problem statement. How can Spotify increase the number of streams on its platform? Break that down into 2 mutually exclusive drivers. Increase streams from existing user base and increase new user base. Focusing on the main branch, increasing streams from existing user base, Break that down further to increasing customer retention on platform and increase streams per user. Similarly, do this to the other main branch, increase new user base. This can be broken down to increase visibility in the market and increase attractiveness in the market. You can then use these problem drivers to come up with your solution. To recap episode 2, defining the problem, first come up with your problem statement, which will be derived from your case brief. And if suitable, make sure it starts with how can and is smart orientated. To help you break down the problem, create an issue tree that is mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive, ensuring it has parallel paths. This concludes episode 2, defining the problem. Thanks for listening and keep listening for episode 3, creating your solution.